Okay, so thank you again for joining us on the Each One Teach One. Today is spreading roots. Again, we're just really shedding light on what we're doing here in Atlanta. Is starting to gain a lot of awareness, a lot of steam. And what I want to do is just really disseminate this information as fast as possible to as many people as possible so they can do it again across the nation, spreading our roots so to build food sovereignty. So it is basically starting here in Atlanta, and we're doing a wonderful job of just seeing how far our reach can go. And so with this initiative, we've already gotten the awareness or attention of school systems, the public school system, private school systems. I've been getting hit on by churches, nonprofits, veteran affairs. So it's already starting to bubble, and we only have done one install. So again, my objective with this spreading roots concept is really again just to make this something that's digestible, and then replicable. And even if somebody doesn't want to be a part of collectively sustainable, they can still join in this initiative and get it started in their area. So again, our whole motto is we don't hide it, we divide it. So this is just in true fashion of being real to what we say we are, and allowing ourselves to be mimicked or replicated in that fashion. So a lot of you all are going to hear some of this beginning info for the first time, but just for people who are not familiar, Collectively Sustainable is our grassroots movement, and our mission is to provide our community with direct access to people who have skills, produce, products, and resources that will assist in the creation and support of hyperlocal food networks. Right. And so, with our hyperlocal food network, we have the app Farm Fresh 24/7 that assists us in a major way as a decentralized marketplace. This is where we buy, barter, sell, and even give away things locally or hyper locally, excuse me. And most importantly, the main thing that we've been harping on as of late, just due to our understanding further of what people need, is our CSC, community supported education model. So this is again our model that we're presenting with lighthouses and stewardship centers as ways that we can also start to pour back into our community as far as resources and education so that we can be collectively sustainable. So basically, again, in a nutshell, we're doing a pledge of solidarity for one another to not only join but to help create and maintain the collectively sustainable culture. And I have the culture highlighted because that's again the value that we're presenting as the changing factor that we're looking for. A lot of us are looking for the fresh food. We're looking for a feeling of belonging. We're looking for something to stand on where we can root ourselves in it because it's ethically and morally correct. And again, so this culture is what we're creating together to kind of again build bridges over the divisive tactics of capitalism. So no matter your race, gender, age, religion, nationality, socioeconomic position, or skill level, all are welcome to this movement. And we understand that food can literally connect us, and everyone has a unique role to play within the rebuilding of our food system. So that is what collectively sustainable is. We're not just a grassroots movement, we're the builders of a new culture. So let's jump all the way into it. So the Roots Initiative, Resilient Organic Opportunities for Thriving Systems. This initiative is aiming to create supplemental food production systems nationwide through mutual aid. Each 10 by 10 in-ground system is projected to produce 250 to 340 pounds of fresh, nutrient-dense produce, right? So I'm gonna go back up to supplemental. That again is a highlighted factor because the Roots initiatives are made to be interdependent, right? So these concepts are made to rely on one another. So with this supplemental food production system, you're going to be able to sustain 1 to 3 people with a 110 by 10 in-ground system. 1 to 3 people is not 1 to 3 people all year, right? It's 1 to 3 people as a supplemental factor to your diet. So adding a salad to the side, or adding tomatoes to your burger, or adding a cucumber to. So it's really meant to just be supplemental. If you wanted to do it specifically for one person, you can do it and you can survive and maybe even put some stuff up for winter, but it'd be very difficult to sustain yourself off of a 10 by 10. So it's meant to be just supplemental so that you are again reliant on the cohort that you're placed with, or reliant interdependently with other people in your area. So with this Roots initiatives, there are three tiers that you can participate in. One tier is, or the first tier, excuse me, is full price, and it's basically a pay it forward initiative. Where someone pays $1,250, which is the real price of what you would pay to have this system installed with plants, all labor included, the whole nine. 1,250 is what you would pay. So if somebody pays that, they would be paying it for someone else who's coming in at that third tier, which is free. So those first and third tiers go hand in hand. We can only install free when we have the overage, when we have the abundance of capital to kind of make that happen. So those two are hand in hand. In the middle is where I'm finding most people, and that's kind of where the sweet spot is, especially when it comes to this mutual aid capacity. So we're at no real cost to the people who are servicing and doing the labor. It's kind of just fair. So the second tier, which is what we're seeing again more repetitively, is the materials only, and that's from $300 to $450 as an install, and that's really to cover your materials. And the 450 is because we use the framework of the big yellow bag with soil 3, and that's good grade compost that I can stand by. But it's delivered and it is more expensive. So that's when you get to that 450 area. A lot of people felt that that price was jarring. And so we recalculated, looked at our numbers again and figured out another way for us to kind of hit our metrics. And I'm going to jump into that in a minute. So the first thing we're going to do is go over supplies needed for install, and that's a flathead shovel, a spaded shovel, a pickaxe, a wheelbarrow, and a 10 by 10 heavy duty tarp. So I have it highlighted here again. Do not buy new items. This initiative is about being as conscientious of our consumption as possible. That's what our culture is, right? So we don't want to just go buy a whole lot of things from Home Depot or Lowe's. If they even give them to us, I'll take them. But I'd rather like get some refurbished things so it can add in value for somebody being able to add into the movement in the ways that they can. If somebody can donate a couple shovels, it'll probably make them feel good. And then again, it kind of helps us get the job done. Um, the 1 cubic yard of garden soil, 1 cubic yard is basically what we're going to need to replace the 10 by 10 area. And again, we're going to go into this specific install right now. So this is the second option, and I hope I'm not jumbling this up. So back to that first page where I was saying we have three options. So first option is full price, third option is free. Again, this is that second option where you pay for your materials. And again, this is my own personal recipe. So whenever I did container gardening classes or any kind of class having to do with refilling an amended bed, I use this concept of peat moss, black cow manure, and perlite. So all three of these will equal up to 27 cubic feet or 1 cubic yard. And I might have said cubic foot on the last post, but it's 1 cubic yard, which is basically a truckload, right? Your flatbed, excuse me, your the back of your truck, that's about a truckload is 1 cubic yard. So this is going to be about $275, give or take. I got all these prices from a big box store. So again, we want to just be replicable. I would rather have the soil 3, but it is costly, and I would rather get it from somebody who's down the street who maybe does compost a little bit more. Um, I'm not going to say ethical, but I'm going to say they do compost where I can go verify it and verify its quality, but everybody doesn't have that opportunity. So I just wanted to go with something that was just drag and drop. And these big box stores are nationwide. And before we, completely divest from them, we have to use what we have right now. And again, these three things are very much available. And this can be something that adds a little bit more functionality to somebody coming in or affordability to somebody coming in. So $300 and you can get all your materials and your fertilizer. Again, I wanted to do it this way because it keeps the money out of our hands. So it's no real way to be you know, chastised for how we spend the money. You spent your own money, right? So whether you ordered it from Soil 3, you're going to order it yourself. If you buy it from the big box store, you're going to buy it and pick it up yourself. So the materials are going to stay with you until the install. So it can never be any kind of riffraff about what happened and what collectively sustainable is doing with the money. All right, so as we get into this, so that's the materials. So the five major roles, in this 10 by 10 food production installation is the donor, which is self-explanatory. These are people who are donating money and or tools. We have homeowners who obviously are opening up their space. A lot of reasons why people cannot learn or don't have the capacity to learn is typically boarded up with they don't have access to green space. So the homeowner is going to do just that, open their space up to be a space where we can do hands-on education as we install. Volunteers, these are people who are saying, hey, I want to just learn. Maybe this is the best place for me to practice the bar to a boss concept where I'm going to just give my energy, maybe my resources as far as time and bandwidth and skill set to assist with the install. And then lastly, the two are lighthouses and stewardship centers. And lighthouses are our educators, stewardship centers are our educational facilities. And we're going to dive into all those now. So, step one, step one in this initiative is you have to create a cohort. There's two ways to create your cohort. You can either A, be the homeowner and go to your family, your friends, your neighbors, and any organizations that you're a part of. That could be a church, that could be a nonprofit, that could be Habitat for Humanity, anybody that you're a part of that you don't mind visiting their house or their space. We recommend you start there, right? So if you already have a close knit, family or tribe that you kick it with, try to go after those people first and try to get them on board with being a homeowner as well in this initiative. So that makes it really easy, really seamless. Homeowners can obviously reach out to anybody that they're comfortable with. You just have to take in mind that in this initiative, it's basically one hand washing the other. So everybody has to be comfortable with the distance needed to be traveled and the time slot needed to be there so that they can assist with the installation. So that's one way that you can start a cohort. So if you're somebody who's a homeowner and you're ready to go, definitely you can start it off yourself. And secondly, if you're a lighthouse in an area that might not have a lot of traction. You yourself can go out and advertise these 10 by 10s as a way to bridge a gap, as a way to show yourself as a resource in your community. So, from Lighthouse's perspective, you can go to Farm Fresh 24/7. Again, as our digital market space, you can start to advertise there. It could be a simple post on social media or even passing out flyers or word of mouth in person. This is a way to, again, bridge that gap, maybe open up a conversation, and ultimately, if you're somebody who has services, it can be a great way to leverage this installation as a way to offer your services for the rest of the season or the year or however. So we're going to get into all that too. All right. So step two, after you've actually successfully gathered 5 to 8 families, you're going to put them into a node, and that's what a cohort consists of. Is five, excuse me, not 5 to 8 families, but 5 to 8 plots, right? 5 to 8 plots. So you might have one house that does 2 plots, right? So that's all in the same initiative because you can have two different people who manage the plot. So it's not something we're hung up on, like, hey, you can't do it again. If you got the money and you got the materials and you pay for them yourself, we'll put in 3. It doesn't matter. So it's about the production of the food, right? So 5 to 8 production plots that all agree to the terms of assisting fellow cohort members with installation and maintenance for 1 year. That's our agreements, right? Communication and agreements, MOUs, will be handled internally through the collectively sustainable community portal. That's kind of condensing everything back to collectively sustainable so that we have a clean pipeline of who's going where and what agreements are what. So it's kind of like collectively sustainable can not necessarily broker the deal, but oversee the deal. And that way, again, we're going to have the MOUs drafted in collectively sustainable so it could be copied and pasted and just reorganized so that everybody can have a standardized model that's set up by the community. And over your lighthouse, your educator, your lighthouse provides the guided hands-on instruction for the 2 first installments. The members of the cohort create a schedule and complete the remaining installments. So again, if you use this example on the screen as 5 households that organized into a cohort, the lighthouse is going to be paid $100 for those 2 installments. That is a very Very good deal. And this is speaking from somebody who did installments for a living at one point in time. $100 for two installments is a very good deal. So that's where the lighthouse is saying, hey, I believe in this so much that I'm also giving an in-kind value of my own service, right? So the first two installments are going to be handled, or excuse me, allotted that $100, and that's going to be broken down between the cohort. So at five houses, that means $20 per house. They're going to all show that collective framework of spending, put their $20 together and pay the lighthouse for their time, right? Or one person can do it. Whoever spearheaded it can take it on as a responsibility for themselves, but that'll be clearly indicated through the MOU again that that cohort has to pay that trainer independently. Again, we don't want any money coming through collectively sustainable that we have to disseminate to other people, because this is a grassroots movement and we believe that our governance is decentralized and it's leaderless. So we just need to be able to do it ourselves, right? So down below, it says if the lighthouse, excuse me, if the cohort want to hire the lighthouse to provide additional service, the compensation terms will be up to the individual parties involved, and collectively sustainable will have no official relationship in that agreement. And that's again just to open up the doors to bartering, right? That's basically, hey, you might be with a cohort that has some elderly people in the mix, and maybe they can't really pay it forward. They can't go to three installations themselves. This is a way for you to insert yourself again as a green mechanism, but maybe you don't want money. Maybe the agreement is, hey, I'll assist you with your garden. I'll assist with the install. I'll assist with you the rest of the year. In exchange, I would like a 10 by 10 plot myself. Maybe you have a particular skill set. You do taxes, you're a CPA. A lot of different things that we can wiggle in to be bartering opportunities. So with this, the compensation terms again are up to the individuals, and that MOU can again be found in collectively sustainable to organize that compensation term as well. So I just want to make sure that's understood. All right, step three is the nitty gritty. It's the installation. So I'm not going to get into the actual installation, but I have a full guide on YouTube from site survey to calling your utility companies to get your utilities marked so you can dig properly, and spacing, orientation, the whole nines. We have a full guided step-by-step demonstration on YouTube, so you can go there for more information. But the installation part is where the rubber meets the road essentially. So installation, the lighthouse is going to coordinate logistics and install with all volunteers personally. So this is where our volunteers show up. So volunteering opportunities are not just labor related. Even planning, refreshments slash food, media, etc., are all valid ways to participate. And we want to edify that into the culture of what we're building. So we want these installs to ultimately turn into garden parties. That's what we've been calling them here. We kind of are fine tuning them now, but it's not just the labor, which is definitely important. So we want to talk about that first. With every lighthouse, you're going to be tasked to find volunteers, two volunteers to help as your labor, right? Because we just need that help. And that's a way for you as a lighthouse to ensure that you're not burning yourself out as you're offering your skills to the community. But again, it's a way to offer that to a boss programming. And it's just another way to just cushion just in case we got a cohort that has more people who are elderly. Maybe they just can't move around. They lack mobility. We still don't want to count these folks out. We want to be able to customize our installations to where we can facilitate anybody anywhere. And this is again an opportunity that maybe we can add in the youth for the labor, and they can be learning at the same time. And that can spin off into a way to make a green business for the youth that they can go around after the installs are done. Maybe they can help these same people with weeding, with watering, with harvesting. So I just see it as a wonderful opportunity. And again, volunteering is not just labor. We have, if you want to cook, if you want to provide, healthy meals, if you want to donate time to make fresh beverages, if you want to make time to be the DJ, if you want to pull up with your camera, if you want to lead in stretching or cool downs, that's all respected and necessary. And we've been doing that at our installations, and they've been doing very well. It just brings another culture to the install. It really makes it an event, an experience versus just labor. So we don't end up leaving feeling depleted. We end up leaving feeling fulfilled, and we want to do it more. And again, this is just a concept that we're adding in to just add to sweeten the pot. And lastly, the Stewardship Center. So the Stewardship Center provides a data bank for hyperlocal volunteer availability. So with the Lighthouse, they'll be able to contact a Stewardship Center directly to access the volunteers. So maybe that sounds a little jumbled up. So let me say it again. So when you first come into Collectively Sustainable, we're going to have this Airtable that we collect data on. So we just finished up the Airtable last week. So we're going to be running our beta testing this week. As you fill out the data for the Airtable, it's taking location, it's taking your personal interests. Do you like to work solo with groups? It's taking your time and availability and your skills all involved. So it's going to be on our Airtable. And again, it's you'll be able to, as a stewardship center, access that Airtable. So, as a lighthouse on the east side of Atlanta says, "Hey, I'm ready to do an install. I need a DJ. I want somebody who can do photography, and I need two volunteers." That stewardship center is going to be able to type in those particular categories and see the list of people available at that particular time, that particular day, and they can send you those resources rather than trying to comb through social media or post on Collectively Sustainable. We can instantly access the people who said they're available and ready and willing to engage in this particular capacity. So again, it takes out a lot of guesswork, and we'll be able to directly, succinctly organize that with the stewardship centers. So again, the installs, again, I have it on YouTube so you can see how they go. They're really sweet, really simple. They take about 3 hours, maybe 3.5 to 4 if you have a new group. But I just want to get down to the numbers real quick because this is what we're really pitching. And this again, this initiative is getting a lot of steam, a lot of interest because of I believe the forecasting um they call them I'm at a loss for words right now. Outputs or outcomes. Outcomes. So we're looking at outcomes. So outcome is basically the desired result of what we're doing. So if we do these installs, each house is not guaranteed, but each house is projected to harvest 250 to 340 pounds of fresh produce per plot, right? If you work in a cohort of 5 to 8, we're just taking the base number of five houses, one lighthouse, organizing and assisting throughout the year, 1,250 to 1,700 pounds of fresh produce per cohort. We're calling that cohort a node, right? The next phase is making more cohorts, excuse me. So that means multiple lighthouses. So if we had 5 lighthouses, we would now have 25 homes participating, growing about 6,250 to 8,500 pounds of fresh produce per season. And this is 25 households that are educated. This is again a takeaway. This is data that they are looking for. We can include the educational framework of reaching our community as well. So this is kind of where the role of the stewardship center comes in. As y'all can see, it's kind of all the lighthouses going into the stewardship center, and that's because a stewardship center provides space to accommodate larger events, demonstration, hands-on workshops, and social gatherings. So y'all probably have been seeing my page online and what we do here at our Seals Family Farm, the prototype for the Stewardship Center. And that's again just a customizable concept to where as we grow this model out, after you install the produce, you might need a class on how to preserve, how to can. These same people who might be interested in growing and canning might be interested in making soap, container gardening workshops, hands on wine making workshops, and then we add in community meetings. So that's the significance of the facility of the Stewardship Center. So just to re edify that, the Stewardship Center is just a facility. The lighthouses utilize the stewardship center. So you could be a lighthouse and you can have your cohort on the east side, and then you have a stewardship center that you can visit or partner with so that you can provide better, more intensive training with your cohort at a bigger facility, or you can actually use the stewardship center to house classes for the whole of people in your area in general. Again, using Farm Fresh 24/7. So that's the significance of the stewardship center. It is basically our schoolhouse. So again, just forecasting this a little further. Right now, with this same concept, we'd be looking at 5 stewardship centers and basically producing the same amount per system. We're going to have 31,250 pounds of fresh produce per 5 systems. This model that you're looking at is 125 households that have been serviced as far as education, as far as continued education, as far as sustainability training, and then lastly, as far as production. So these are the metrics we can show. And again, when we're talking about funding initiatives, grants, charities, this is what they want to see. And so we're already at 6 stewardship centers in Atlanta, and we're about to go through our last training for our first cohort. So we're going to have 6 other stewardship centers pop up in Atlanta. So this is a true model that we can enact on. But what we're again forecasting is, most of us can kind of concede to this notion of when you start planting, it's a seed that grows in you. And what happens is a seed matures and you start to understand more about stewardship, maybe zero waste concepts, composting, seed saving. And what we're banking on is more people being involved, or these same households holds moving up into leadership positions or educational positions, and they themselves might become lighthouses and assist 5 homes of their own. So this is going to be an expansive model. Again, imagine this being in every major city doing the exact same concept. We can really scale this food production system very fast. And that's where, again, Farm Fresh 24/7 comes back into play, because as these households grow more food, or they're more proficient in growing food year after year after year, they might not need to rely on each other so much, because they just have so much of an abundance. And this is where, again, the app comes in, free to download, free to post on. And that's where your abundance can now be sold or bartered on Farm Fresh to other people in that hyper local arena. That's within a 50-mile radius. So again, this is a dynamic proposal. I believe it has a wonderful opportunity to scale and grow. And again, with utilizing the concepts of mutual aid, we're just saying the hand that we need is at the end of our own sleeves, and we do not need to wait for subsidies. We just need to find people who have the resources, the time, and the bandwidth to add to the pot, and we can all start to really create our own food sovereignty. So at this point, I'm going to open up the floor for questions. That is the end of the presentation, quick and concise, like I promised. So if you have anything, go ahead and come off mute, and I would love to engage. I'm going to pass this back over to myself.
We just get off mute. We don't have to raise our hand. I missed it.
No, just get off mute.
Okay. So I do have a question.
Okay, talk to me.
Um, in regards to volunteering, I heard how you said like you want to make it like a party. You can cook, you can do juices. How do we know where to do this at? So like say if 'cause I see Jazz is on here. So let's say Jazz has a team and they're going to, I don't know, Shirley's house to plot
Uh-huh.
to do it. How do I know that I can go there specifically?
Okay, so that's where the lighthouse will come into play. So in that capacity, Jasmine is going to be a stewardship center as well, her farm, but she herself will be a lighthouse, right? So in that
Mhm.
capacity, you would have to be in contact with her. So she'd be either
Got you.
advertising on Farm Fresh, like, hey, a
Hmm.
volunteer opportunity, or social media, her personal page, or within Collectively Sustainable, she can put it out as well in the Georgia department or the Georgia chapter, the group. So you could
Okay.
be kind of made available in that capacity. But again, it'll be up to the lighthouse to kind of select the
The
volunteers. It wouldn't just
volunteers.
be
Got
something
you.
where you could just pull up because you want to keep quality control in mind, and just understanding that folks are coming in and it's somebody's home. So we just kind of,
Right.
I really would like for the lighthouses to have like a particular group that they work with. So if you can attach yourself to a lighthouse that does
Got you.
volunteers in your area,
Hmm.
that would be the most
Okay.
yeah, approachable
Okay. So
mechanism.
I get to a lighthouse. Got you.
Yeah. Get to a
All right.
lighthouse. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you for that. Anybody else? Any
Um,
questions?
Greetings, brother. I was okay. How with I see how you all have formulated this in Georgia. Now,
Hmm.
being the only lighthouse and the other connection is 5 hours away. Um, how do how do I spearhead this on my own in our community? Not having a
Okay.
stewardship center, being the only lighthouse here in the northwest region of Louisiana.
Yeah. So basically, like the first slide showed, or the step one, is you're gonna have to reach
Mm-hmm.
out and touch folks. And I get again, I'm using this as a bridge builder because we've been
Okay.
getting hit on by everybody. So this might be the way to kind of stir up the engagement. If people know that they can pay $300 to get their soil, and you're willing to go out there and put the sweat equity in as an in-kind value, this might be the thing that rustles up enough people in your area to where you can say, yes, I can, have more members or have more people circulate within this kind of community. And I did mention, I failed to mention that earlier. So if you are someone coming in to participate, they have to come through collectively sustainable. And that's very important
Okay.
because, again, we're talking about culture, cultural values, cultural norms, authentic dialogue, nonviolent communication. So, again, our culture is what we're presenting. This is kind of like our coupon, right? We're saying, hey,
Okay.
we're gonna offer our skills and our time. You just buy the resources. We're gonna come over there in hopes that what we have to tell you about makes a little stickiness, right? It's kind of sticky is what you're looking for, is that community you've been dreaming about, and we can start to engage you in that capacity. But long story short, you just really gonna have to get out there and really network, Tammy. It's just like that's the only way to do it. There's
Okay.
no
I
real
have a
secret
I have
code.
an organization. I have an organization that wants this that needs someone to come out and help them to develop. They have like 12 acres. So
Hmm.
it's a church group that wants to start farming. So this particular program could apply to them.
Perfect. It'd be perfect for them. It's perfect for them. That's who I'm surprisingly getting hit on a lot. It's a lot of churches who want to use their own lots to
Yes.
utilize as 10 by 10s. I'm not denying anybody like that. Again, we're saying no matter your race, religion, creed. So again, when they come through, they have to take that oath. They have to say, hey, I understand. I can't come with my religious dogma. I can't come over here thinking everybody gonna think the same thing. I'm open to understanding a little bit more because we're out here working side by side. Again, that's a great way to initiate conversation. It's a great way to talk about what we're doing in an impactful way. But yes, so it's kind of like a one shot, one kill. If you get a church, you can have all five plots right there. And so it's seemingly being the most the easiest mechanism to kind of join in on as far as spearheading at a church. But yes, don't
Because
don't
I just went and spoke with the church and they wanted this. And I saw how you all was doing this, which it was an idea, but I didn't know how the structure. So when you came up with this structure, it was like, okay, the next time that I go sit down and talk with them to present it to the congregation, now I know I have a foundation so they'll know. So when I do go speak with them again, I just have to have the organization to set up with collectible sustainable.
Yeah, yeah. So the participants, it don't have to be the whole church. The participants, they have to be the ones who say, yes, we agree. Now, I would rather put it at the homes, but again, this is early, and the beautiful thing about this is it's an internal grant, right? We're putting them grants in big quotations. It's us using our resources in kind. We get to
Okay.
say what we don't do or what we do. So this is an emergent strategy. So I would first go ahead and extend it and try it out, see how it works. But I would more so rather somebody be at their home instead of the church just because it works a little bit better. But again, I think, just to try it, it's safe enough to try. So
Okay.
yes, you can take this framework to them. Watch this video again if you need to get more information, and then the YouTube video is a step by step. But it's really simple. It's just really digging out the. It's labor heavy, So again, that's the contingency. It's not you going out there and doing all the labor for them. It's them saying, yes, we'll do the installs with your guidance, and then we'll be competent enough or secure enough to go ahead and complete the rest of the installs. So you're only doing two. So again, it still puts a lot of the responsibility in that MOU, that memorandum of understanding, goes squarely on those participants' shoulders, that they're going to go ahead and carry it forward. So again, I think it's just a valid way. It's a strong way to go ahead and make contact with people in the area who are looking to just grow food. And again, we
So
we
this
know
is
that
just
that's what we
for
need
the
more.
lighthouse. You're just a guidance and assisting them and educating them on their plots.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And again, if it's some people out there who are they lack mobility, maybe they can't do all the things, that's where those volunteers come in play. And we're not leaving people high and dry. So you can still add a little bit more effort into it, but the real objective is by that second installation, they should have the hang of it by the end of it so they can continue to third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. However they, deem that cohort to be viable. But that's really the sauce, is that we're teaching people how to catch a fish. We're not saying, hey, come rely on us to fill all your needs for your grocery. We're saying, let me empower you to grow your own food so that you can teach somebody else to do the same thing.
Okay. I got you.
Cool. And thank you for those questions. That's valid. Being the first one, the only one in the area. Again, I just think that's the best position, not the best position you could be in, but this initiative gives you the best usage of your position, because you can now find people easily. If you say, hey, I can help you start your garden if you buy the materials, and the materials cost about $300, they jumping on it. Again, we're
Okay.
providing
Another
the
question.
plant or seeds and things like that, but you
I
can work that out.
I have two big box companies that's willing to donate seeds and donate material, donate soil and things like that. Um, but when it gets into like we doing the workshops, the summer camp we just and AmeriHealth called and said that they needed data. Now, how do we um as collective sustainable, how do y- how can we partner together so I'm able to use the data from you all and we get this funding together? Because I don't I don't have the data per se, but I do, but I don't. But I she was telling me that I needed to partner with people that have, organization that have concrete data, and you all are the only um farm organization that do this with the children, do this with the adults, and have concrete statistics on where you brought someone, where they started to where they're
Okay.
at now.
I got you, Tammy. I got you. We got 15 minutes. Okay, so yes, you would definitely be using the data, especially when you become a stewardship center or lighthouse. Basically, you're saying you're a part of us in an official capacity, right? Instead of being employees, right? We're a grassroots movement, but you have the data at hand, because again, as a lighthouse, you can contact the stewardship center. Stewardship centers can access all the data, but we're encouraging that communal usage of data so that we can apply for grants and fundings and things as a unit. Excuse me. So yes, you can get with me or anybody in the capacity of kind of like the back end, the admin, and yes, we can start to rotate that data around to where we can start utilizing it. And again, that's what this is supposed to inspire, because as we get connected with public schools, churches, all this, I'm just going to package the framework up as a proposal and then disseminate it to everybody who can go out to their own churches, their own loads, their own school systems, and use the same piece of paper that we use, the same agreement, and then propose
Mhm.
it to them and say, look, Atlanta is doing it already. And it's going to come real quickly. So thank you for all that. Let me make sure we make space for other folks to ask some questions. Desi, I'm going to come up to you in a second. Does anybody else have a question who hasn't spoken yet?
No question, but great organization always, per usual.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Desi, we up to you.
Peace, Jazz. Real quick, I just want to know if there's anybody in Florida.
Yes. So actually we're coming out. So I didn't mention that on video, but I guess we catch it now. But we have we have a couple stewardship centers coming up in Florida, a couple in Texas, one in Louisiana, well, two in Louisiana. Um, we have a South Carolina. We're about to have a Ohio, Jason. I believe you're in Ohio.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're about to have an Ohio stewardship center, Northeast Ohio to be specific. But yeah, we're just starting to get our wheels turning and starting to kick up dust. So I expect again this initiative to start to be so visible that other people are going to start to say, "Oh man, I could do that too. Let me join too." So it's going to take a little while, but we do have a couple. I think Big Still is in um,
That was my
he's like
next
South.
question, where they
Yeah,
are.
he's in like South Florida. He's in South Florida, I believe.
Okay, because I'm migrating there soon.
Okay.
So I just wanted to know if someone was in Florida. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can put you in contact. Yeah,
Okay, baby.
absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Anybody else? Y'all cool? 618 on the money, man. I appreciate it. So this was a Each One Teach One Wednesday, where we always discuss things about sustainability or sustainability strategies. And again, this is meant to be replicable. We don't hide it, we divide it. So as the framework comes to life here in Atlanta, we are looking to make it, we are looking to encapsulate it so that it can be drug and dropped somewhere else. And again, the success that we're having, you can have it in your area. It's going to take some boots on the ground. It's going to take a little bit of giddy up to get it rolling. But it's possible, y'all. And we have a wonderful opportunity to get funding right now with our collective works and our collective vision. And while I'm on screen, I want to say this real quick. If you all have the capacity to host a Growers Exchange October 25th, we're looking to have a nationwide Growers Exchange. And if y'all have followed the page that I'm on, like we do a Growers Exchange every year. October 25th is usually the week that we try to run it in, and that's where we grab everybody in our arena and we just host a get together where we're not vending or selling to each other, but we're actually exchanging our breads, our goods, our homemade products. And yeah, I just want to throw that out there while we're all on screen. But I appreciate y'all again. Thank you for joining, and I hope it was beneficial to you. All right, I catch y'all on Friday if y'all on TikTok. Peace.